aiming to achieve with this album.
No problem. I really didn't say much before we dropped out, so it's all good. Like I said, like I was saying, what we were trying to really do, or we tried to do with every record, is really just show some progression and growth in our writing, in our musicianship, and our style, but also stay true to the origins of the band. If we can combine those things with all the things that people know about Armored Saint as far as the style and the fact that we're this hard rock heavy metal band, and we've established that, but also continue to show that we're making records that sound current and making them sound like that we're trying new things and pushing boundaries. When we do all those kind of things, I think we feel really confident about the records that we make. We felt that way about When Hands Down, and I felt like that was a stepping stone for this record. And I'm really, really excited about this record because I think it sounds like a classic kind of Armored Saint record, but still sounds like it came out in 2020.
Yeah. You mentioned about the diversity and wanting to try different things. There's things on this album like Gonzo playing American Indian flute. You brought in some guest musicians as well. Tell us a little bit about some of the guests you brought in and some of the things that you wanted to try differently this time.
Well, it was cool because, as you pointed out, Gonzo played that flute part, which is a nice introduction to the last song, Never You Fret. It's really cool. He did a good job with it. And also, we were lucky enough to get Dizzy Reed from GNR play some keyboards on the record. It really just added a whole different kind of color when he did his parts on the two songs that he played. We even had a childhood friend's son play the introduction marching drum on the song Do Wrong to None. So it was really cool to bring him in because his dad is a great drummer, and then his son was able to play this part. The dad didn't even play it, and he's a great drummer, but the son got to play it, and he was the drummer of the marching band in his high school. So it was a cool idea that Joey had to bring him in, play the part with Gonzo for the intro, and doing things like that, not to mention the Julian pipes that start the record off on the first song, Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. That always, when you hear those pipes, that set the tone immediately. It really creates a kind of an aura, so that sounded amazing.
Yep. Where does that kind of idea come from? Because things like American Indian flute and Uilleann pipes, they're not instruments that you hear every day. So where does that idea come from about, hey, let's try this and put it into this track?
Well, Joey's got a lot of creativity when it comes to things like that, and it was actually Gonzo's idea to play the flute part. He was doing his best imitation of Ian Anderson, and he did a good job with it. But, I think when you bring in these other kind of instruments, it just kind of sets a different tone for the song. And then you go into the riff, and then you go into the the vocals, and it sounds like an Armored Saint song. But remember on the Symbol of Salvation record, we had the whole congas introduction to tribal dance. That was also a guest player, and that set the tone for that song as well. So we're always open-minded when it comes to having different people bring something in, especially if it's something different than just a guitar part or something. Although we did have Pearl a Day, Scotty and Dwight sing on the last record, and we did a duet together on with Full Head of Steam. So, it's just, I think when we bring these other instruments and other players in, it kind of brings out something differently in us. And I think it's just a great thing.
Yeah. Lyrically, what was inspiring you this time? Because we live in such a crazy world at the moment. So what was inspiring you lyrically when you sat down to work on this album?
Well, it's a crazy world we live in, right? It's just there's a plethora of ideas there. All you got to do is read the news or watch a few moments of TV or the internet. It's like I could probably write 10 records, right? It's just an endless thing. Of course, I don't want it to only be about what's the what's happening in the world, but it does lead to social commentary ideas, and then that kind of it raises other ideas that maybe I have or I didn't even know I had, and by seeing something, hearing something, reading something, then it triggers something else that I might want to say. Always try to inject a little humor when the time is right, little sarcasm, can never have enough of that. Try to touch on, making sure that people feel like they can battle life and come out ahead. It's only standing on the shoulders of giants. Obviously, the whole world of technology and how it's affecting us. And, there's pros and cons to it for sure, but, the end of the attention span is something we all struggle with. I struggle with it. There's a lot of different lyrical themes throughout that just are things that we're all dealing with as people. It was so weird because COVID came in after that. So, but strangely enough, sometimes the lyrics take on new meanings by the developments in life, which is really cool. So who knows? I mean, the song "Standing on the Shoulders of Giants," we put out the video, and the cool thing about it was it's kind of like this nature versus industry type video, and that actually changed the meaning of the song. So I love when those kind of things happen.
Yeah. Talking of COVID as well, you guys had to do a virtual album launch online. Did you ever, in your history of music, ever think that you would be doing a online gig like that? And also, how else has COVID kind of affected the album coming out this time?
Well, it didn't affect the album coming out, luckily for us, because we were actually done with all the recording parts. So we just had to go into mix mode when the quarantine affected everybody. So we were fortunate. We handed Jay the tracks, and Jay Rustin, that is, and he mixed them. So we were not held up in that way. So we had some good luck there. But it's a live stream. We want to perform, especially when you just finished a record. You got these new songs, you're really excited about them, you want to play them live. So, to obviously, it's the only thing we got right now. So we're embracing it, and it's going to be fun and probably be a little weird, but it's the way it's got to be right now. And like I said, we're looking forward to it. We're going to play some new songs. We're going to play some deep tracks. We're going to play some hits. I'm going to sing hits. So it should be a lot of fun. Even though it's going to be unusual, that's for sure.
Yeah. I was going to ask that. What's it like playing but not having the audience there? Like, you can't feed off the energy of the audience. Have you guys gone about preparing for this show differently because of that?
Well, I don't have the luxury of, putting the mic out into the crowd and having them sing parts when I'm winded or something. So I'm going to have to sing it all myself. And, of course, we feed off the audience so much, and it'll be peculiar. I think it'll be more like a kind of a glorified rehearsal, or maybe even a little bit closer to like a video shoot. Although video shoots, you're not really performing. I mean, you're pretending you're performing, but you're not really performing. But so we're going to be performing. But I think it's going to be something we've never really done. So it's uncharted territory. Even the banter. I like to chew the fat with the crowd and, talk about whatever is on my mind that night and have some funny conversations at times. And, to not be able to bounce off people, it'll be challenging to me as a front man. But you know what? These are good things, though, because they take you out of your box and they challenge you a little bit, like I said, and they, it's not the norm. So, it kind of pushes you to think differently. And I think in the end, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, we mentioned approaching. That's all right. You mentioned that you guys are approaching 40 years as a band. Tell us a little bit about that. How does that make you feel? Did you ever think that 40 years ago? Were you thinking that in 40 years' time this band would still be going strong?
I think that when we were young, we probably had the ambition to have longevity. I think that's something that I think we always thought was really cool. Even then, in the early 80s, I mean, it was funny back then. We were going, we want to be around as long as the Stones and the Who. The Stones and the Who still play. Hold me back, though. So, it's funny, but I think that longevity is something that we yearn for. We didn't really know how that was going to happen. Of course, when we were 20, 21 years old, we also thought we were going to be the biggest band in the world, and that didn't happen. But I think that we're proud of the longevity. I think we're proud of all the same members, other than Dave Pritchard, who unfortunately lost his life back in 1990. But other than that, the same guys, and I think that's a really cool aspect of this group. It's not just Joey Vera and a bunch of hired musicians, or it's the same guys, and everybody has like an emotional investment in the band. So when we go out, it really truly feels like a brotherhood kind of feeling.
Yeah.
That's one of the beautiful things. How long can it go? I don't know. I mean, I feel like my voice is good and strong right now. Can I sing, songs like March of the Saint when I'm 60? I don't really want to think about that today, though I won't.
Yeah. Well, mate, I know we are running out of time very, very quickly. So before I go, I'd love to ask, is there anything you would like to say to your Aussie listeners out there before they go out and grab the album? And is there a chance when all of COVID is over that we might see you guys in Australia at some stage as well?
Yeah, well, it's long overdue to go to Australia. Emerson's only played once in the career of the band, and it was a long time ago. I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 06 or somewhere around there with Death Angel. It was a great run. It was fun, but it was just the one tour, and I actually got pretty ill when we did that tour, and I actually didn't even perform the last show, which was in Perth. It was like the one and only show I think Emerson did where John Bush actually was probably in the town and didn't sing. I didn't even go. I was so sick. It was like a horrible memory, but it's a memory nevertheless. But like I said, it's long overdue. We certainly appreciate all the support all the fans have given us through the years there, and all the years I played in Anthrax, we always had great tours of Australia. So I know how great the fans can be down there, and maybe 2021. You never know. Hopefully, this COVID thing we can get it under wraps and start having shows again.
Definitely. Well, John, thank you so much for chatting to us today. It's been an absolute honour, and hopefully we do get to see you soon.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for all the support, and be safe down there, all right?
You too, mate. Stay safe. We'll see you soon. Bye, mate.
All right, bye-bye.